Hello, everybody. This is Jake Kokorowski from BadgerBlitz.com, senior writer over at BadgerBlitz.com, yourrivals.com destination for all things Wisconsin athletics on the recruiting trail inside Camp Randall Stadium, of course, on the court of the Kohl Center. And we're continuing our early signing period coverage, having a lot of fun. Joining us today, we did this last year with a couple of players. We're going to continue it this year. It's a peer evaluation, if you will, in terms of what what a particular commit feels his other fellow commits will bring to the Wisconsin program. And we did it on offense, we did it on defense, and today we're bringing in a state champion who's gotten quite a few individual accolades of late too. We got 2022 quarterback commit Myles Burkett from Franklin, Wisconsin. Myles, great having you back on, man, and it's been quite the busy couple months for you on way to a state title.
Yep. Hey, thanks for having me. Glad to be back.
Excellent. And, before we even talk about, your fellow future Badgers, let's talk about how your season ended. We talked to you at the end of October-ish. You're on your drive to Camp Randall Stadium in a state championship, but you finished, according to WISports.net, completing over 71% of your passes, over 3,400 yards, 36 touchdown passes, 4 interceptions. Of course, the big thing, you were a WIAA Division I state champion, and we'll talk about the individual accolades. You had some all-state honors by the Associated Press and the Wisconsin Football Coaches Association, but Gatorade's 2021 State Football Player of the Year, AP State High School Football Player of the Year. You claimed the Dave Krieger Award, obviously for the state's top quarterback according to the Wisconsin Sports Network's senior awards. There, how are you? First off, let's talk about the state title. Clock strikes 0 inside Camp Randall Stadium, your future home. What emotions are flowing through you when you can say to yourself, "I'm a state champion now"?
It's a lot of emotions. It's a long journey for me in high school. A lot of ups and downs, injuries, cancellations, you name it. Kind of think back to a lot of people really didn't think I was going to do it. They counted me out a little bit, and it was kind of like a joyful time where I could just say all that adversity, it came to an end on that field, and at the same time you understand that you played your last game with that team, and it's kind of just a lot of emotions coming together at one time. And it was people, they got some emotion filled moments with me and my teammates, and those are all real true moments. And at that moment it was just super exciting, but also kind of sad that I never played with the Franklin Sabres again. But obviously you're glad to be a champion. It takes a lot of work, got to win a lot of games, so I was just really happy.
I say, is there a thought that goes through your head right when you become state champion? Is there when I said, when that clock strikes 0 and or even just counting down where the game's in hand, what thoughts are going through your head?
It's kind of like that surreal moment where you're like, no way we just did this. Only one team gets to do that, and I feel like we've been on the opposite end so many times. A lot of what ifs. 2019, I get injured. What ifs? 2020, COVID. What ifs? I feel like we've been working so hard, and we had so much confidence in ourselves that when it finally happened, it was kind of like that oh crap moment where it's like we did it. And at that moment, it's just super exciting to see that hard work pays off.
Talking about hard work paying off, I listed off those individual awards. What do those mean to you? And obviously you achieved what your team wanted, the ultimate honor of being a state champion. But what does it mean to be honored by various organizations for your individual efforts during the season?
It's a true blessing, that these organizations see me fit to be the player of the year or to, accept some of these awards that are super prestigious. And, a lot of great players have accepted in the past. And, but at the same time, obviously the biggest award for me was a state championship and sharing that with my guys, because obviously none of these individual awards are possible without my teammates and my coaches and my family. So it's super gratifying to win those awards, but obviously you got to look at the bigger picture, and I really wasn't working towards those awards. I was working towards a state championship. So to get to a state championship and to be where I want to be in my career, I kind of have to win those awards. Those are awards that I shot for when I was a little kid, and that put in the hard work to win. So it's really it's a blessing, but obviously the bigger picture is the state championship was the main goal.
Now looking ahead, and obviously you've announced next week you'll be signing early. You know, we talked about it early about how you'll be coming here early as well as an early enrollee at Wisconsin. I guess, you know, what we do now, you know, with Badger Blitz is, you know, we've done this before, that was it last year, where we have, you know, we had Deacon Hill do it last year, talking about the offensive commits before they're signing. With this upcoming class, we had, you know, we wanted to ask you, being the quarterback, just what you think stands out about each player and what they'll bring to the program. So we'll start off with a wide receiver. We just spoke with him last week, or actually it was this week already. It's Saturday. Wide receiver Vinnie Anthony II, one of your future receiving targets. You know, what stands out about him from what you've seen, and what do you think he'll bring to the program?
From the small bits of film I've seen and just, you know, watching him grow as a player and as a person, he's an explosive player. In college football, you know, receivers that are usually very successful are those guys that can take the top off the defense and can make those big explosive plays. So he's a crisp route runner. He's a technician. But he has great speed to get over the top and make those big plays. So when we talk about translating to the college game, I think he'll be one of those guys that will be on those ESPN top 10, making those big catches down the field. So I'm really excited to get with him. He's got, you know, all the true intangibles of a great receiver when you talk about size, speed, athleticism, you know, vision, stuff like that. So he's a great player, and he's going to fit in really well at Wisconsin.
Now looking at the offensive line, from the Milwaukee metropolitan area like yourself, Joe Brunner, 4-star talent, obviously one of the top 100 players in the country according to Rivals. He had some very nice things to say about you, with you being, you know, you being his future quarterback coming up. What stands out about Joe, and what do you think he'll bring to the program?
First of all, Joe's one of my best friends, so, you know, I'm gonna probably give him more praise than he maybe even wants. But no, Joe's probably one of the most physically dominating old linemen that I've seen. Talk about a guy that big who can move that fast. That's pretty incredible. You know, he's a tank. He sets the line of scrimmage, and he's a great run blocker. He's a great pass blocker. You know, he's one of those guys who's not going to stop into the whistle. And that's something that I saw that I kind of was like, whoa. Like, I know that somebody had a video of him on Twitter week 1 where he just pushes a kid out the way. And the kids, it's just, you know, that physically dominant force where, you know, when you look at the translation to college, where he'll be able to take on those big interior linemen, those big, you know, ends and linebackers that you see in the Big Ten. So I think he's going to be a great player. I think he can play anywhere, to be honest. I know they like him at tackle, but I think he can play interior as well. He's got the size and the strength to do it. But, I mean, my true thing is the ability for his quickness and his speed at that size. It just kind of blows me away.
Now, saying, you know, in terms of the wide receivers, you know, you talked about Vinnie Anthony just a second ago. Tommy McIntosh, too, had a big year in Michigan for DeWitt High School. What stands out about Tommy, and just, you know, what stands out about Tommy and what you think he can bring to the program?
You look at Tommy, you just see length. Just he's got a frame that you can put as much muscle as you want on that frame, and to pair that with speed. And, you know, you'll see on Twitter, you'll see Tommy catching a big catch downfield, and I look at him and Vinny, and both those guys who have that, you know, that length and that ability to take the top off the defense, and they just accompany each other so well. And, you know, you look at the receivers we have in the receiver room right now, you know, I think that we have, you know, speed guys and strength guys, but then you bring in Vinny and Tommy, who are those lengthy guys who can move the ball down the field. So I think Tommy, and then you look at also his Tommy's success in high school. He's won a lot of games. That's the thing that you look at our classes. We have a lot of guys that are winning a lot of games, winning state championships, getting to the state championship, you name it. So he's one of those guys that's going to bring in that winning mentality, along with, you know, like I said, just pure intangibles of being a really great college wide receiver.
Now going back to the line, Barrett Nelson, obviously a Wisconsin legacy. His older brother, Jack, was a starter this year at right guard during the regular season. What stands out about Barrett's game, and what do you think he'll bring to the program?
Barrett's got the size, and he looks the part of a great old lineman. You know, you walk up to Barrett and you're like, oh, there's Barrett, big old Barrett over there. So obviously his brother's been very successful, and, you know, I expect him to be very successful as well. When you talk about looking at old linemen, you know, setting the tone at the line of scrimmage, the ability to be good in pass set, ability to be good in the run game as well, because obviously, at Wisconsin we're very multifaceted when it comes to run the ball, ground and pound, and then also opening it up in the pass game. So I think that he's very good. Like I said with Joe, I think he can also play interior or tackle, but he's also going to be a really good player.
Now, this year he may have played running back, but he's projected to play tight end. JT Seagreaves. What stands out about JT and what he's done for Monroe, and what do you think he'll bring to the Wisconsin program?
We look at Wisconsin tight ends. We've had a very good run of tight ends here, but a lot of our tight ends have been physical, big, getting catching traffic, really good run blockers. Then you look at JT, and he's kind of like that new wave of tight end you're seeing in college football. A lengthy guy with great height and great route running ability, but has speed. And I mean legit speed. Like JT was at the state for the 100-meter, and that's ridiculous when you look at a Big Ten tight end for a kid to be that fast. And then I've also been watching his basketball highlights lately, and the kid's throwing down dunks and between the legs and stuff. And you're like, that's a tight end? That's ridiculous. And he kind of fits the new mold when you look at tight ends kind of branching out into guys that you can split out and guys that can also be physical in the run game. And I think that he's going to be really special when you look at him being able to bring in a new kind of ability to that tight end room where, you might not see as many guys who are as, fast or maybe as quick out of being split out. So I think he's going to be really special with his speed and with his ability to route run.
And then, we don't know where he'll play next, but Cade Giacomelli, you talk about a player that's been going to state championships, and he's, last night, racked up another one there for Penn Trafford. But what do you? And we don't know where he doesn't know where he'll play, if he'd be on offense, defense, wherever. But if he does play on offense, what do you think, stands out about Cade, and what do you think he'll bring to the Wisconsin program?
You could talk about a true athlete right there. He's probably one of the most athletic guys in our class, hands down. The ability to be able to play anywhere is special already, but then the ability to play anywhere on offense is also quite different. At running back, he's physical, he's fast, he has great vision. And then at receiver, you look at the ability to run routes, quickness, and then also speed too. So I think that he can play anywhere. We love to have him on offense. He might go to defense. We don't know yet. That's not really up to us. But I think he's going to be the type of guy who can make big plays. And in college football, big plays are needed to win games. So I think we got a lot of guys that can make that big play and can get downfield with their quickness and their speed. But Cade's definitely like that guy who's probably the most athletic out of all of them.
And then last one, what do you think? Doing your self-evaluation, what do you think? Stands out about your game on multiple levels. But then on top of that, what do you think you'll bring to the Wisconsin program?
I think my ability to make plays off schedule. I think in college football, especially in the Big Ten, where you look at these prolific defenses, like you look at the Michigans, the Iowas, the Ohio State, Penn State. There's a lot of really great players on the defensive side of the ball in the Big Ten. So being able to make plays off schedule and to when a play breaks down, to not really panic and get stuck in the pocket and be able to get out of the pocket and still make plays downfield, and also my ability to run. When you got Braylon Allen on your team, you're gonna be able to run the ball. So when you see them start to bring those 7-man, 8-man boxes like you did see in that Minnesota game, I think that my ability to also pull reads, stuff like that, and be able to keep those second level defenders on their toes. So I think that my ability to kind of keep the defense alert is probably the biggest thing, and so they don't have to really just key in on, all right, we're going to see inside zone to Braylon, or we're going to see some play action. You're going to have to keep your eyes on me when it comes to the run game and also getting out of the pocket. So that's probably what I can bring to the table.
Excellent. I was going to say, last thing before we let you go, I know you announced it on Twitter, but what do you have going on for the early signing period? And then, leading up to your time, come up to Mass, and what's the timeline for you to get up here, and among other things?
Yeah, so signing out Wednesday, true big ceremony at my school. Gonna be fun. Friends, family, stuff like that. A lot of supporters that have done a lot for me. Kind of just come together and celebrate something that took a lot of work to do. And then been training lately, amping up the training. Obviously, the transition from high school to college is no joke. So amping up my training, getting myself truly physically, mentally ready to get to the next level, and hit the ground running when I get up there second week of January. So just kicking it out in the classroom now, just finishing out my senior year and my high school year, obviously, and then getting to Madison and hitting the ground running.
Excellent. Myles, man, we appreciate you making time on this weekend and whatnot. Enjoy the ceremonies and everything, and looking forward to covering you when you get up here in just month and 5 days, just around a month away.
Thank you for having me. Always a blast being on here, and just can't wait to get up to Madison.
Folks, it's Myles Burkett. We're going to let everyone go here. We got more coming up for the early signing period. Again, I'm Jake Kokorowski. Make sure you like and subscribe to BadgerBlitz.com's YouTube channel. And, of course, Facebook, Wisconsin Badgers on BadgerBlitz.com. Big thanks again to Myles Burkett. We'll talk to you all soon here on Badger Blitz TV.